USC is a legit playoff contender this season. And here's the bottom line. Lincoln Riley understands exactly how to win with this exact blueprint. If you want to see a team that has vastly improved on both sides of the ball, all you have to look at is the USC Trojans. Last year, they gave up 6.37 yards per play. Okay, 6.37. They gained 5.91. So they were in a deficit in terms of yards per play against their opponents for the season. This year, check these numbers out. Offense yards per play, 8.62. Not even the Kyler Murray Oklahoma offense averaged 8.62 yards per play. They were 8.60, just under that. That's how explosive USC has been. And everyone's like, well, the defense is terrible, Joel. Just stop it with the USC stuff. Okay, well, guess what they're giving up? 6.37 last year, 5.08 yards per play this year given up on defense. Is that dominant? No. Is it great? No. Is it good? Nah. Is it good enough? Probably. That's a margin of 3.5 yards per play from what they're gaining to what they're giving up. So why does that make them playoff caliber, Joel? Well, because the history of Lincoln Riley is that he knows exactly how to take a team like this that is dominant on the offensive side, okay on the defensive side, and take them to a playoff. In 2018 with Kyler Murray, Oklahoma averaged 8.6 yards per play. It was tops in college football that year. They were dynamic on offense, and everybody knew it. Did you know that year they gave up 5.73 yards per play? That's over a half yard more than what USC is giving up right now. Okay, so they're different. Their difference is very adequate right now. Very adequate. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Their defense gave up over 6 yards per play in 2018. So they gained 8.6. They gave up over 6.13. This tells me that the track that USC is on right now is a track in which you look at their schedule, they can win every single game that they play. Utah is their biggest threat. There's no doubt. Notre Dame is not anymore, in particular with the way they've struggled early in the season, and now their quarterback is out for the season in Tyler Buckner. So USC's got to be feeling very good about themselves. And everyone can say, like, listen, that Utah game, there's no way they're good enough to beat Utah. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Anthony Richardson from Florida showed you the blueprint of how to beat Utah. You got to have a mobile, quality quarterback. I would argue Caleb Williams is a much better version of Anthony Richardson. Why? Because Caleb is dynamic in the passing game. He's got better wide receivers on the outside. Utah is going to struggle with the speed that USC puts on the field. They will. And as Alex Grinch and that defense continue to get better, remember now, they went from 6.37 yards per play last year. They're at 5.08 yards per play right now. There's a good chance that they'll stay at 5.5 or under. If their offense continues to play dynamically like they are, which they should, because look at all the weapons, there's no reason why this team can't go to the playoff. I know that that's early, and everyone was saying probably 2 years. Is this the best version of USC that we're going to see under Lincoln Riley? No, it's not. Is this a good enough version against the schedule that they play to go to the college football playoff? Maybe. And I think it's time that we start to acknowledge that fact. This is not just going to be a cool story and look how much better USC is. This USC team, with the way that they're playing, is good enough to go to the playoff. They're good enough to be a one-loss conference champ, save for one thing: offensive health. Their entire season hangs in the balance of the health of those explosive players on offense, namely Williams, namely Addison. They can probably lose Travis Dye, although it wouldn't be great. Addison makes them totally dynamic in the passing game, and Williams is the trigger man. You can't lose him. If those two guys stay healthy with the schedule they have in front of them, yes, Utah will be tough. Notre Dame, not nearly as tough as what we thought they would be. then USC can absolutely win the conference, have one loss, and I think that they would go to the playoff at that point. It's time to start thinking about that, folks, because, again, the numbers suggest that Lincoln Riley knows exactly what he's doing. This isn't any worse defense than OU has played. Now, is he going to be national championship caliber? No. And to be national championship caliber, he's going to have to change that model and take his defense to a place where they can play top 30, top 25 defense in the country. You know, get down there in the 4.5, 4.2 yards per play area. If he does that, then yes, then they would be national championship caliber. And I think he believes that he's got a better chance to do that at USC than he did at Oklahoma. I think that Lincoln Riley felt like he was maybe a bit maxed out at OU. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. But the bottom line is this version, we better start at least wrapping our minds around the possibility that USC could go to the playoffs. They could get blown out in the playoffs, but they could go. We better start thinking about that, folks, because this version of what we're seeing of this offense and this defense is good enough to do it, in particular in that conference. Okay.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.